Hello, everyone, and welcome to the magical celebration of Embolden. We are here at Crum Castle. What a gorgeous location, hey,
It is
Sonee?
absolutely magical.
Sorry, I don't look like myself. I'm all ready for a god. She's like,
She looks like a Barbie doll. I'm not that dressed up
I
yet.
can't even, it's all sprayed on. It's not good. Anyhow, we are here today to celebrate the launch of, apologies, I just lost your page, Embolden by Sonee Singh. It's book 3 of 3
Yes.
in this beautiful poetry collection. And as you can see, we now have a beautiful paperback trade version, as well as, do you see behind us a beautiful
Yeah.
collector's edition? Don't they look amazing together?
They do. And what's beautiful is that the hardcovers are all matte, and these ones are, nice and shiny. So it's like a good contrast between the two.
It absolutely is. So, Sonee, what's it like to be, whenever we sing this all together at our event yesterday, and even the images that are coming through, it's like everything's just flowed, hasn't it? How does it feel?
It feels very surreal in the sense that it's almost like something else is guiding this, and it's just falling into place one after another, and so it's quite beautiful.
And it's funny because we had like a slow start, and we're just going with it. We both trust in the process and the journey of books, and then something accelerated, and it all led to being here in this castle with a full collection.
And the strange thing is that it almost feels like this book has been out in the world already. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
But it just, it's coming here that it sort of all just come together, which is quite beautiful.
And so this is new for us to be able to sit together and do our launch side by side in such a beautiful. You should see what we're looking out at.
I know,
isn't it?
If only we could turn the camera around.
We can't because the lighting. We need the lighting on us.
Yeah, but it's gorgeous because we're looking at a castle and then this green expanse and forest, and it's just.
We'll take a picture and post it. But Sonee, you're going to read a poem for us.
I am.
A few, hopefully, because just to get the essence of this. But before you do, can you share what just with the people who are new to your poetry, share with them why it's embody, embrace, and now embolden.
So I put the Soul Seeker collection together, which I actually love the term Soul Seeker, and I can't even claim the credit for that one.
You can have it, it's yours.
But it came together during sort of the lockdowns of COVID. So this is starting, March 2020, perhaps maybe into April, that I started writing poetry. And to me, the journey that I went through during that time, because it was a very self-reflective time, was that journey was embodying kind of, allowing myself to express and feel the emotions. And a lot of that happened in my body. And so that's where embody comes in. Then it was a kind of a shift into accepting it and saying, okay, this is all happening. I am feeling all these things. And that's Embrace, which was book 2. And now we have Embolden, which was sort of my way of looking at a way forward, in particular, considering, our connection to the bigger world, to the wider world, to the universe, to the signs and symbols. And so a lot of what's in this book, in Embolden, is very much about different kinds of signs and symbols.
Amazing. And when you are able to be aware of those signs and, go through the embody and the embrace, it frees you from the shackles of the past to move forward into the emboldened stage, which is future focused.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, that's where the name came from, Embolden. It was finding a way to forge ahead with everything that had happened and, all of the self-reflection that I'd had.
Yeah. Wow. It's a powerful journey, isn't it, Sonee?
It has been.
And when you allow yourself to go through it, it can be tough, but when you stick with it and follow it through to the end, and, you're a novelist, and then these poems called to be written, and then they called to get published.
Yes.
So it's kind of, it's your gift to the world, isn't it?
It is. Well, I never actually thought that I would write poetry. It was only through COVID that it was part of my daily writing practice. I realized that I started writing it, and it just seemed to come out of nowhere, but then it became this beautiful form of expression, and I've continued writing poetry even until now. And I can sit down and work on my novel. I can't necessarily sit down and work on my poetry unless I'm editing. That's different.
Yes.
But if it has to be, an actual coming together of a poem, I just have to let it flow whenever it does. And at the time that does, I have to pay attention to it.
How do you know that? How do you know it's coming? Like for someone who's going, oh, I could never write poetry, you have to be open to it, obviously, first of all, but no one is coming tapping on the shoulder and create the space for it to come through.
So, a lot of it is just being present with yourself and what is happening within. And so it's almost like it's strange. It's almost like you feel the words coming and then all of a sudden they just flow. For me, it's very important to write by hand, especially the first time I write the poem. Like that connection somehow is more strong with the poetry. With the novel, I don't. With the novel, I can just sit down and write on a computer. With poems, I write them down by hand, or sometimes, I'll carry a phone with me everywhere and I'll start typing just so that the idea doesn't go away, because sometimes I'm out walking and, I can't have a notebook everywhere.
Even in the
but
shower,
I do have a phone everywhere.
It's like when it hits and you don't want it to go, because it's like this golden thing just comes to you, this aha, and you're going, oh my goodness, let's capture this.
Yes.
Before it's gone.
And sometimes it's just about capturing that moment, and then you can kind of expand
revisit
on it later. But that emotion or that moment or that kind of perception that hits you, you just have to capture it.
Such insight. Oh, read the poem.
So this one is called Three Things. Three Things. And it's a very simple one. 3 things. For a few years now, I have tried to keep to just 3 things. A magic number, it seems, in my daily to-do. It is the key to de-stress. I used to fill my task list to the brim. I didn't know how to begin. Now I'm satisfied with just 3, ironically freeing my time to do many more things.
Ooh.
And what's interesting with this is that I've been known, I think anybody and everybody who knows me as the list woman. And so I used to always write lists, and I realized that the less I rely on the list, the more time I have for things. And so what's odd for me now reading this poem, and the reason that I chose it is at the time that I wrote it, I was scaling back from having, 50 things on my list to say, I can't deal with that much. So let me just reduce down to 3. And now I've moved to a stage of I don't have a list, yet I'm still able to do so much more. So it's interesting that, this number 3 seems like a magical number, because it is. It's kind of the
number of the fairies.
Yes. It is. And it's, letting you know that you're guided and you're protected. But it was sort of like I needed to focus on that 3 in order to realize that I don't necessarily need lists as much as I thought I did.
Wow. And yet 3 things. You're writing a list there, right?
Yeah.
But just to free yourself from the list, isn't it just? And yet I aspire to be an illustrator and keeper. It's funny, isn't it? Though? Just to get it out of my head and onto paper, but then I forget what the list is.
You lose it or something.
Yeah, then it's just, there's no going back from there. Because it's out of the head, the list is gone, and then. So, can you share with us maybe another poem and the essence of it and how it came to be?
So the next poem is an actual symbol. It's tarot. Oops, there we go. And the strange thing with tarot cards is I feel very deeply connected to them. Yeah. And I have even before I even knew kind of what they meant or how to read them. And this poem invokes that connection that I have, almost like at a very intuitive level. And so here we go, tarot. Cards speak to me, flashing signs and symbols, outlining my landing strip. A lighthouse beckoning to land, as if I were searching for an address on a map. Some meanings I get directly, immediate flashes of knowledge. I close my eyes, visions, feelings, tastes fill me, clues within our reality, providing direction to the mysteries. Secrets enclosed in the arcana, 22 major ones, the mysticism unfolds. Staring as a fool on life's journey, as the turn of the wheel. As we gather lessons from challenges and gains, seek connection with ourselves and others, an opportunity to look into a mirror of self-reflection, guidance for the day, week, month, year, 55 minor ones are psyche balanced by staves, cups, swords, and coins. Provoke passionate and willful fires, filling cups with soulful feelings. Thoughts that cut through the air, what we gather from the earth. A theme, purpose, or answer. In the 78, the world in our hands appears esoteric, mystical, and magical, representing the human experience, which is esoteric, mystical, and magical. Archetypal influences on human nature.
Ooh, I love that one, really and truly. And you're going to notice with the trade versions of the books, they're in black and white, and the reason for that is it makes it more cost effective, and the collection then are more special because they're in color. But we haven't lost all, the black and white still has all of the beautiful illustrations and that in it, so it's just gorgeous to be able to retain that in it. But with tarot cards, we've been doing it here at our retreat. We've been pulling out a card, and it resonates, doesn't it? It ignites something within you, doesn't it?
It does, and I think the thing with tarot cards is that a lot of people see them as these things that are unapproachable, but really they're about daily life.
Yeah.
And they're a form of guidance, of giving you some sort of either inspiration or area of focus that you might have. And you can draw a tarot card for the day, you can draw one for the week, you can do a whole spread. I mean, you can do so many things with them. And rather than get bogged down with the messages, sometimes you just need to sit with it, because tarot cards aren't as easy to interpret as some of them that have the message just clearly spelled out. Sometimes you just need to sit with it, and the message will come across.
And some people are very blocked to it, and you go, just give it a go and see what it is for you. Just be openness. It's the openness, isn't it?
Yeah.
One thing I have to share as an observation for me is your confidence has grown so much since you've been doing poetry, hasn't it? Though.
It has.
Like, why do you think that is?
I feel, poetry has been a form of self-expression, and the more I've been at peace with who I am and what I feel, the more confident I am in myself. And poetry has been integral to that journey. I mean, if it weren't for poetry, I don't know that I would be this person at this moment, because I feel like writing in general is a type of healing, but when you're, at least for me, when I'm writing a novel, it's still fictional. So even though I may be drawing from my own experiences, it's still about something else. Whereas for me, the poetry is a reflection of me, of what's going on with me at that moment. And so, it's been extremely, extremely beneficial.
Oh, and absolutely. And then another thing that's happened is that, you write these books, you put them out into the world. They're not for everybody, but whenever you reach someone that you think, or that you don't think it or you don't judge or anything, but somebody who discovers your poetry and embraces it. And we've had someone here at this retreat who's very academic and who's really never was into poetry, but has fallen in love with your poetry.
Yeah.
And to see how that moves them and shifts them, it just goes to show, doesn't it?
It does. And the thing that I think it applies to all kind of writing, but the thing with poetry is that, I have an intention when I write it, but the reader will take whatever it is that they want to take from it. And that's a beautiful thing that, it's a self-expression, but it's also applicable to the person who's reading it.
Absolutely. And it's as if this just found this person at the right time. So I just love watching it happen. and they're even delving into poetry. It's bizarre, but it's all meant to be and wonderful. And, the thing about poetry is you don't have to commit to reading the whole novel. You can just jump in and get a poem. And something in that may resonate with you and shift you in some way. And that's what I feel your books do.
Yeah. And the thing is, I feel like my books are very good to approach and just, flip any page open and just read the poem that comes out.
You're going to read Ocean first? Now?
Sure, I guess. That's what came out. Ocean, it's a short one. Yeah. And so it says, Ocean, healing water beckons, plunging into her warmth. Saltiness seeps into my pores. A mermaid once called mythical, finally at home. And you know why this is so significant too is because I have an intention of living by the ocean, because the ocean really speaks to me. So I think it's actually a sign for me today.
There you go. See, and she's going to become a mermaid. Watch this space. Did you have mermaids over where we live? Oh, it's so fun. And thank you so much for sharing Embolden with us all, Sonee. And, the collection is complete.
I know, I can't believe it.
So
I can't
special.
believe that it's complete,
Yeah.
but it's beautiful to see all the
It's
three
so
there.
beautiful, and for it to happen here, magical.
Yes.
And watch this space for amazing images coming out of these amazing books. And share poetry with the world. It needs to be shared. It's becoming more modern, more contemporary, more accessible for everybody. So, is there anybody you want to thank before we finish
You?
up? Oh, well, thank you. No problem. I thank you. I received that with gratitude.
No, I mean, you were integral in this whole entire journey, but I also have to, thank Jennifer Dinsdale, I think, for the covers, because everybody compliments them. They just always are drawn to them. They say, wow, they're so beautiful. And then the drawings inside, Ida Jensen, who, I mean, she just did an incredible job of just capturing the essence of the poems.
I know.
And that with almost any effort. Yeah.
She doesn't do small poetry books. They're like 200 and something pages each. And then, we send them off, and not only one, but three. And then she hits the mark every time. It's like,
it's incredible.
It was meant to
It's
be.
incredible. Yeah, because, I didn't know how this process was going to go, but it just moved.
When you trust it and allow it to go, because there will be challenges. But you just embrace them, learn and grow through them. And that's what this series is all about.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you to everyone for watching and joining us. Please share your comments below or any questions that you have. And please go over to MMH Press and grab yourself a copy and then share with us what you think. Bye, guys.
Bye.